Hello, Sacred Souls. It's Susanna from Alamanic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is a little ceremony to connect with our inner warrior and to bring out our inner warrior, the spirit of the warrior, to help us in the spiritual warfare. Okay, so, and this started when I was guided to it 2 days ago when I found a martial arts training stick in one of the laneways I was cutting through, but it had been run over and split in half. And I think that's also very symbolic because many of us kind of almost gave up. We almost couldn't keep going anymore because many of us got very worn down by the dark, right? So I actually glued it back together. You can see from here, I hope you can see it okay. The camera focuses in okay. There's a crack all the way up here. And I actually used some wood paste to kind of recreate a tip again because it was cut off, and it was kind of all the wood fibers kind of stuck out on this side. I didn't sand it off perfectly because I have limited time, and gluing this back together was also a little tricky because of the rounded edges. So the clamps, I couldn't tighten them too much, otherwise they would have slipped off. So there's a little bit of a gap still, but it's pretty much good. Plus, I'm just feeding it to the fire anyway, right? So, but yeah, so our inner warrior. So when I found this, right away, what popped into my mind was samurai. And with samurai, right away, I knew warrior, our inner warrior spirit. And I knew right away I needed to do a ceremony with that. But I didn't want to use it as it was cracked open. I wanted to fix it a little bit first. And what I found really cool too is there's a sticker on it. And I didn't realize it until I cut off the little part that stuck out there that it was supposed to be a unicorn. But I actually think it looks more like a llama. And that makes me think of Peru. And I know that in an ancient past lifetime, I was a high priestess in Peru. I believe it was in Machu Picchu, but I only got little bits and pieces, so I don't have the whole story. But yeah, so definitely the spiritual warrior, and many of us need to bring out and reconnect that bring out and reconnect with our inner warrior to deal with all the stuff that's coming at us, right? Because there's a lot of darkness coming at us and we need to be well equipped. So, and what I was also guided to do, and I've actually had these for quite a while. These are 7 wooden feathers that I found at the dollar store. And in Native spirituality, the 7 feathers represent the 7 grandfather teachings, which are basically the ethics and values, and they basically teach you how to be a good person, right? So I actually looked them up again to make sure that I got all of that right, and I'll get into that in a second. But I also have 9 of these mothballs, basically, wooden mothballs, out of cedar. And I was thinking I want to use those not as fear seeds, but the complete opposite. I want to use them as divine seeds, or seeds of the divine or divinity, to actually plant the good stuff, this stuff, into our energy field, into our spirit, the part of our soul that's incarnated right now in this lifetime, right? And we're gonna remove again whatever fear seeds. Like I have some apple seeds in here that shall represent the fear seeds, so we're gonna pull these out again and then plant the much bigger divine seeds so that they may sprout and blossom in us. Here I have some, I actually got a little organized yesterday, and I have a black thread that is actually on cardboard rather than plastic, and I thought this was perfect because I started thinking of how when people are toxic, they often string people along, and this could be conscious or unconscious. Even I caught myself, sometimes, for example, if you're in a situation where, let's say, your car needs to get fixed and you kind of get the sense that maybe the mechanic likes you or something, then you might just maybe not encourage it, but not like bluntly say, hey, I'm not interested, because you don't want to piss the person off, right? Or this could be like anything. I'm just thinking because like car repairs can be quite expensive and your life depends on it afterwards, right? Or the dentist. Like, you don't want to like offend someone like right before they start working on your teeth in your mouth where they can cause severe damage or something, right? So sometimes we may consciously or subconsciously or to some extent maybe string people along, leave them under a certain impression, knowingly or unknowingly. But also like especially like either other people in our in our lives. Wow, that's funny. My voice just kind of went funny. So there's definitely still sort of an issue with the throat chakra of not fully speaking up and speaking the truth. Interesting. Anyway, so let's say when we were more toxic or toxic people in our lives, that, we would knowingly string someone along or they would string us along and give the impression that maybe there's a chance even if there wasn't or isn't, right? So like for all of those situations, I want to put this in the fire as well, because if we want to fully step into living a life in truth where body, mind, spirit, soul, and everything is in line, where our thoughts, words, actions, and feelings are all in line, there can be nothing hidden, nothing dishonest or manipulative, not even in the slightest bit, right? So that shall be for that. So finally, I wrote these down last night, and then actually I wanted to add 2 more because there are 7 teachings for the feathers, but then I have 9 of those divine seeds that I want to put in, so I'm going to add 2 other ones. But there are different sources. So basically, like the way I learned it, which I believe was the Ojibwe teachings, was love, honesty, humility, courage, wisdom, truth, and respect. But then I found another source that said trust. And then first I wrote it down like that. And then I was like, no, wait a minute. It was truth and not trust. And I went back and I'm like, oh yeah, I did say trust in the other source or resource that I found, which I liked so much better, because the whole time I was always thinking truth and honesty are basically the same thing. So I didn't understand why it was there twice, unless one was more for spoken words and the other one more for action. But yeah, it didn't make a lot of sense to me. So we're going to use it. We're going to have one for trust. And then for these divine seeds that we're going to plant in our energy field, I want to have one. So these 7 like for the feathers, but we're going to reinforce it as seeds as well. But then our connectedness, our oneness with the divine, with source energy, with creation and the creator. And then our spiritual determination and commitment, right? So that we stay on the spiritual path and, you know, we follow it, we're committed, we give it our best, and we don't just say, oh, it didn't work and give up, right? But that we keep going and we keep working on it and so on. And that we do our daily spiritual practice in whichever way, if it's meditation or prayer or ceremonies or whatever, right? But the oneness, also that our connection with the divine grows stronger and stronger, that we open ourselves up more, that our relationship with the divine blossoms and deepens, right? So that shall be like those. And it seems like this one is actually larger than the other ones, which I want to actually use for the divine, our connection with the divine, the oneness, right? Okay. And I put the stick there so that we can break any and all connections to any of the toxic stuff that we want to leave behind, and like dishonesty, manipulation and stuff, right? Okay, so, oh, and the fire's almost out. Hold on, let me put these in a little more. Actually, let me put some paper in, because it's rained all day and I got the fire going, then it almost went out, then I got it going again, and then I started filming, and here we are. So let me put a bit, and I didn't bring any more, like I already put all the oil and wax I brought in there. So let's put some of the papers in. Hopefully that'll do the trick. It should. So in the meantime, yeah, something is burning there. Okay, so dear creator, higher... Oh, sorry. Yeah, I talked about that. Oh, yes, I wanted to talk a little bit more about a little story there. So I've had these for a while, and I had them in my bag, and one had the tip broken off, but the piece was still there, and two pieces had broken off, and they were gone. Like, I couldn't find them anymore. And I was thinking, oh, should I get new ones? And then I was like, no, these are the original ones that I wanted to use. And I was guided very strongly that trust was the one where it was quite badly damaged. And that was also the one that I had crossed out here. And that's the one that I think in the collective many of us are struggling with, because our trust was badly broken by those narcissists, by the dark ones, by those toxic ones, you know, sociopaths, psychopaths, those with like demonic or shadow attachments, dark entities, etc., right? So this is actually very suitable. And many of us have had experiences that almost made us close off our hearts, and like our love was damaged, and we're still kind of healing from it. And I believe I also speak for the collective there, because that's also connected to the trust in a sense, right? That our trust and our love was betrayed again and again, and we were, you know, used, abused, and whatever. And now we're taking our power back, right? So I think that's actually very suitable. So the love is repaired to the point that you can't really tell unless, like, I zoom in really closely. You can kind of see that it's glued together up here, right? But it's really hard to see. But here it's very obvious, and it's like I used to like see it back and front because yeah, I couldn't quite get the same pieces there. Anyway, sorry. Let's get started. Let's call in our spirit guides and get this ceremony going. Dear Creator, higher power, source, and soul energy, our higher selves, our higher spirit guides of the light, our ancestors that are in the light, and great spirit of the fire that is still hanging in. Please help us fully and completely free ourselves from any remaining fear programming. Aha, that's what the stick is. Haha, that's what it is. Please remove any and all remaining fear seeds from our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy fields, and break the fear programming that's still within us. Help us fully and completely let go of any manipulations that have to do with stringing people along or giving false impressions because it might benefit us or others, but also not falling for it when someone else is doing it. And help us fully and completely step into our powers as a spiritual warrior, as a light warrior, a light worker. And even if not doing any healing work on others, but for ourselves and our own ascension, we need to take on that warrior power, that strength, to fully and completely step into our power. And for that, we ask for help to always honor these 7 teachings, to live a life committed on the right path. So that shall be love, meaning unconditional love, which includes compassion, kindness, and all of that stuff towards ourselves and others, right? Loving ourselves and others unconditionally. Honesty, including truth, so that, again, everything is in line. Our words, thoughts, feelings, and actions shall all line up and be in line with each other, and not that we think one thing and say the complete opposite and our actions are something else again, maybe. Humility, that we don't feel that we're better than others, but we're also not worse than others, right? So I think this is kind of a tricky one. And here I go again. Anyway, sorry. There's a lot of false humility in spirituality, I've found, which is why I've pulled back from a lot of groups, even like in circles that practice native spirituality that were quite liberal, open, and welcoming. But a lot of times I found that people asked, the spirits to have pity on them, that they're sinners, and so on. And that's the false humility that I believe we need to get away from, because that's how Christianity, and I believe also other religions, were used to control people and keep them down. And that's the opposite of coming into our power. But humility in the sense of not feeling superior to others, but knowing that we're all just one part of creation, right? Then courage, that we actually have bravery and courage to say the right thing, to do the right thing, to speak up and stand up when needed. And that means for ourselves and others. And wisdom, basically just learning from life, and that is not book knowledge, but the wisdom of life, like from living and learning our lessons, which is exactly like what we do when we're on the path. We make mistakes and we get corrected directly by the divine. So for example, quite a while ago, I witnessed someone shoplifting, and I just pretended not to see it instead of maybe stepping in, right? And I really suffered after that energetically. And I know that was the divine teaching me that I was not doing the right thing, right? So, first of all, I was lacking the courage to step in. And in the meantime, I've had a few more chances and I've handled them differently. But anyway, and then the wisdom to learn from that, right? And then do better next time. And if it's things like that where you're not really sure, you will get more lessons and situations, and you can look at it as an experiment, and each time you react differently and see what happens each time afterwards. Like, what is the divine feedback you're getting in your life, right? So, yeah. And then another one where I confronted a woman in the store when I saw her put something in her bag. I actually got a lot of free food after that, which is always the positive feedback I get from the divine when I do something really well. So, like, we're learning and we're becoming wiser. So that's part of being on the right path and learning step by step, right? And then trusting ourselves and others and the divine, the spirit world, source energy, our spirit guides, and so on, right? And that is usually a big one for many of us who might have felt that we didn't have enough support from either the spiritual realm, or that in 3D our trust was betrayed so many times that we have a hard time trusting. Anything like that, right? And then respect, because I think in our modern world there's not a lot of respect in how people live lives. And like, I notice it, like, for example, in the deliveries, there are a bunch of young guys, and a bunch of them just started touching my phone and touching buttons, and I was like, hey, don't touch my phone, So it's like our society has become so wishy-washy with, like, invading people's boundaries and not being respectful of other people's space, and just taking whatever they want and invading whatever they want. And there might be good intentions behind it, like wanting to show someone how to do it, but the right way to do it would be, here, let me talk you through it, press this button, then do that, and so on, right? And then, of course, like, we're going to add the other two that I already explained earlier, the oneness and the spiritual determination. So, please, and I think based on the resource, these are in a different order. I just put them out this way because I find love is the most important one for all of us in our ascension process. And I believe honesty is the second most important one. So that's why I wanted to put these first. And, the rest, yeah. Not that they're less important or anything, but just, I feel like if we love ourselves unconditionally, and by that I mean that we love who we are, that we completely accept ourselves for who we are, we approve of ourselves, then the rest falls into place, right? So they're kind of connected. Anyway, so please help us fully honor and step into and follow the path by connecting more and more and living more and more with the teaching of unconditional love. Help us feel it more and more within our own hearts, that we love and accept ourselves, approve of ourselves unconditionally and of others as well, unconditionally, more and more with every day that goes by. And let the seed for unconditional love be planted in our energy field, in our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field. And so it is, all my relations. Let the second feather teaching for honesty be, let me actually just combine the two like this. And let the divine seed of honesty be planted. Oh, now I understand it. Okay, so the feather is more our conscious actions, and the divine seed that I'm planting here is more the energetic support we get from the spiritual realm to help bring us energetically into that, what is it? Into that feeling and like embodying it more. Okay, so help us live our lives in honesty and with honesty and truth, and let the divine seed for that be planted in our body, mind, soul, and energy field. And so it is, all my relations. And the next ones for humility. Let us live with humility, but again not with false humility, but let us be, on the one hand, proud of who we are, but humble to know that we're all just one part of creation, and we're all just one part of oneness, right? So let us act and live in a humble way, and let the divine seed of humility be planted within us, our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field. I think I forgot one of those with the last one. Okay, and so it is, all my relations. Let the next one, courage, the grandfather teaching, the feather teaching for courage and bravery. Let us always live, speak and act with courage and bravery. Let us do the right thing and speak up when the situation warrants it, when it is needed, even if no one else does. And let the divine seed of courage be planted within us, in our body, mind, soul, and energy field. And so it is, all my relations. And let the next one be for wisdom. Let us act and speak with the wisdom that we have gained so far, and let us be continuously learning more and more and integrating more and more wisdom into our hearts and our minds. But since we're shifting from the mind to the heart, wisdom comes more from, oh yeah, that just came to me too. So they're giving me different knowings. So knowledge is in the mind and wisdom is in the heart. So we're living from the heart. So the knowledge of the heart is wisdom. So let us act and speak with wisdom, and let the wisdom in our hearts grow, and let the divine seed of wisdom be planted within our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field. And so it is, all my relations. And trust. Actually, no, I gotta use this one for trust. Oh, I used the wrong one for love earlier, but that's okay, because they were in a different order. Trust. Our trust was broken many times. So help us repair the trust in our lives, that we trust ourselves and others again, but with the wisdom and understanding and the discernment that your guidance gives us and provides us, so that we don't blindly and stupidly, excuse my language, just trust anyone, but that we can see through the darkness, and that we trust the right people and the right situations that come into our lives, and so on. So help us live with trust again. Just like children trust, even if they've been hurt, they forgive and forget and move on and trust again. Let us return to that state of innocence where we can simply trust again. And let that divine seed be planted in us, in our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field. And so it is. All my relations. And finally, the last one is for respect. Let us always act towards others with respect, and when others disrespect us, let us speak up and not just quietly accept it. Give us the strength and courage to ensure that we are treated with respect, because if we allow others to disrespect us, how can we respect ourselves? So, and if we don't respect ourselves, others won't treat us with respect. So it's kind of like a catch-22, right? So we have to do both. And let the seed of respect, the divine seed, be planted in us, in our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field. And let us always honor those teachings. And so it is. Thank you, Miigwech, Dankeschön, all my relations. Now we have two more. And again, I want to make the larger one, the one for our connection with the divine, that shall help us move into oneness, but that we become stronger and stronger connected with the divine, with the spirit world, with source energy, with the creator and creation, and that whole realm. That we strengthen our bond and our relationship with the divine, and that we're open to learning, and that we're as open as children when it comes to learning, so that we can ascend and not be closed off because we think we know better, or You know, that our minds can't learn new things because we've become rigid. So please help us be like children again, fully open to learning anything that the divine has to teach us. That is part of our ascension and part of our connecting and becoming and moving into that oneness, becoming one with the divine. And let that seed of oneness and connection to the Creator, to the divine, be planted in our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field. And so it is. Thank you, Miigwech, Dankeschön, all my relations. And as part of that, but separately, our actions, our spiritual determination, our continued spiritual practice, our daily practice, that we do not give up, but we keep going, our continuity, our dedication, and our commitment to our spiritual path. Let the divine seed for that, for our spiritual commitment and determination, be planted in our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field. And so it is, all my relations. And that shall all be applied throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. Oh, and our ancestors are totally working on that right now. I just kind of sensed it. All right. And I forgot this earlier, so we're going to throw this in now. So, sorry, I'm covering the camera. Oops, sorry. So any fear seeds that are still in our energy field from past programming, past lifetimes, from anything that's passed down through our bloodline, through our cultural heritage, etc., any kind of trauma, and so on. I actually have 7 of them in there. All of the fear seeds shall now and forever be removed from our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And so it is, all my relations. And connected to that, any manipulations that include stringing people along, but not limited to it, but any kind of manipulation shall be represented by this black thread, shall now and forever be burnt away and transmuted into love and light and returned to source energy. And so it is. And any and all fear programming that we carry within us from any and all lifetimes, and again from any DNA inherited bloodline. Now I can't think of the words. Anything that was passed down through our bloodline, or anything that we've absorbed as cultural heritage and so on, shall now and forever be broken throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And so it is, all my relations. Now let me just tend to the fire a little bit, and then I'm gonna put the samurai sword in there, well, the training stick. But give me 1 second. I do actually want to... Oh, actually, I'm going to put this paper in first. So we'll have a little bit of paper, right? So. And the other paper, the brown paper, should be here. Hold on, where is it? Whoops. Falling all over the place. There we go. That should work. I'll put a bit more. A little bit down here. Okay, that should come pretty quickly. Okay, one moment. Spirit of fire, come to us, burn away all evil, burn away all evil, burn away all evil. Spirit of fire, come to us, please ignite the healing, please ignite the healing, please ignite the healing. Spirit of fire, come to us, fill us with your love and light, fill us with love and light, fill us with your love and light. Spirit of fire, come to us, help us with the warrior spirit, help us with the warrior spirit, help us with the warrior spirit. Spirit of fire, come to us, we thank you for your healing, thank you for your healing, thank you for your healing. Okay, that was a quick fire and then it went out again, so let's hope. Oh yeah, sorry, I wanted to put that in prematurely. So by putting this martial arts training stick into the fire, our warrior spirit, our spiritual warrior spirit, our light warrior spirit shall be ignited and activated within us in our body, mind, spirit, soul, and energy field, and shall bring a burst of strong, powerful energy to help us fight the dark and in our ascension process, so that we can fully and completely come into our power and once and for all defeat the dark and take charge of our lives and of our ascension. Now, I think I have to fan the fire a little bit more. Let's see if that's enough or if I need more paper in there. I promise you I will make sure that that stick fully burns so that, you know, the ceremony is properly done and finished. Okay. Oh. I wish I had brought more oil or wax. That would have been easier, but that's okay. We're gonna get this. Okay, come on. Yeah, that's a tough one. And the funny thing is, sometimes when I start a fire in the rain in the beginning, it doesn't want to burn too well, but to go out twice like this and barely come back, that means the dark is really trying to stop us. which makes me more determined. Like in the worst case, I will go to the 24-hour store, buy more oil, and come back. Even if it means that I'll sleep half of tomorrow, I don't care. I can be very stubborn and determined. So it will work, but let's first put all the paper in there. I still have a bit more. See, I found this roll actually discarded a while ago, so I grabbed it because I knew I would have a good purpose for it, right? Okay, come on. Spirit of... Ah, here we go. Okay, I'll just have to keep feeding this. At least the stick is dry. So that should burn better than the wood that was actually out here in the rain. But... And I mean, even the charcoal wood that's already charred, that should have burned better. That should have caught on fire easily. So it's really, yeah, something does not want us to come into our powers. But that's okay. It's gonna happen. There is no stopping us. Hold on. I just got massive smoke in my face again. Oh, but at least it's burning nicely now. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to see. And see, this is actually burning nicely. Ha! Alright, now it's gonna be okay. Whew. Alright. What just came to me as well is, like, through this llama, and just the fact that this is like a samurai stick, help all of us connect to past lifetimes where we were some kind of spiritual warrior. So we could have been a Knights Templar, or we might have been a samurai, or one of those, maybe what are they called? Anyway, like basically spiritual people who were fighting for their beliefs, but also in a warrior sense. Now, in our modern world, we don't really believe in like fighting with actual 3D swords, because everybody has the choice to make their own beliefs, right? Like the whole, like, Crusades, for example, I mean, it was just a massive bloodshed. And for what? To convince them that another version of spirituality or religion was not the right one, right? I mean, wow. Yeah, that just totally... That's kind of downloading into me right now, I think. Wow. That was all basically the opposite of what true connection and oneness is, because through separating the religions and having them fight each other, they created separation, and that's exactly what we're trying to move out of and away from. Oh, and that's what we need to heal from. Huh. Yes, okay, now I fully get the message. Yes, that makes sense now. Because I know, like, for example, I was a Knights Templar in a past lifetime. So I would have been fighting for my beliefs, right? Yeah, so we're not fighting in that sense anymore. And there's a lot of trauma and misconception brainwashing, programming, like false programming, false light programming that may still be in us in one form or another from those past lifetimes. We ask the divine to please heal us from all of that, from any associated damage and trauma, any hurt, pain, suffering, PTSD, CPTSD, maybe also any aggression and anything else that is connected to it that is now no longer serving us, that is now stopping us from our ascension and from moving into oneness. Please fully and completely heal us from any and all damage connected to past lifetimes where we were some kind of spiritual warrior fighting for our religion. And anything, like, even if we were not like falsely righteous, but that we were on the right path, purely serving the divine and, with good ethics and morals and so on. But there might have still been a lot of like trauma and pain and damage anyhow, right? So that all of that gets fully and completely healed and transmuted into love and light and be returned to source energy. Please flood, meaning fill and surround us by massive amounts of healing light, unconditional love, blessings and protections, and an abundance in all areas of our lives. Please also heal us from any kind of chastity vows we may have taken in connection to those timelines, or any vows of poverty, and any other kind of suffering that we may have inflicted upon ourselves as part of being on that path. And what just popped into my head, that image was, I don't even know what it's called, but I think in the Middle Ages or even after that, monks often like flogged or like hit themselves like on the back with kind of something like a whip, but I think they had like little stones or beads or something attached to it. I don't know what it's called, but that's the image that just popped into my head, right? So anything that is not of the pure divine, but that is misappropriated and false light, control, and fear programming. That's also connected to the false humility I mentioned earlier. And wow, I just kind of see like an eagle's head there, but it made me think of the ancient, was it the Incas? No, the Aztecs. And that was also a complete abuse of power, how they sacrificed humans on their altars, right? So there was a lot of abuse and misuse of religion and spiritual practices that needs healing. We need healing from it, and those cultures and religions need healing from that as well. So let this ceremony heal all of that and all of us. Let all the sick and misguided misuse and abuse of spiritual power and control, of fear programming, and of yeah, a lot of, oh, I'm just thinking of how, like, chastity was handled. I mean, priests and like nuns and whatever took a vow of chastity, but then also in the Middle Ages there was a chastity belt for women, and there was so much abuse all over that all needs to be healed. Great Spirit of the Fire, please burn all of that away and transmute it into love and light and return it to source energy for reintegration. Oh, we need to let go of all of that. All of that needs to be gone and healed. No wonder our world is so messed up. Oh my God. Evil has ruled this world for so long, and they have masqueraded as religious leaders. And so many people blindly followed without questioning anything. Oh, sorry. Just now that that's so in my mind, and it's like, since I'm an empath and I feel it, it's like I feel kind of sick to my stomach now, just sitting in that horrible energy. Oh, we need to let that go. Whew. Yeah. Let all the abuse of religion and the power and control that religions had over people now and forever be fully and completely healed from all that toxic abuse throughout all of time and space, throughout all lifetimes, timelines, parallel and alternate realms, realities, multi and universes, and any and all other aspects that affect us in this lifetime. And so it is, all my relations. Oh, whew. Yeah, that's it. Oh my gosh. That's what needed to come out. See, I had no idea how deep and how far this would go. I thought it was just the little stuff there. Whew. But the good thing is, in the meantime, almost the whole samurai training stick burned. Like, we're almost down to the Lama. So that's actually amazing. Oh, yeah, the energy is shifting. Oof, oh man, that was bad stuff. Oof. Oh, very toxic. Very sick and twisted. Let's get fully and completely rid of all that. Oof. Let me see if I can feed it a little more underneath. To kind of... Actually, I'll push it in a bit more so that at least you can see the end burn. And then I'll shift it back and forth until it's all done. Oh, hold on, you need to see. Here's the last bit of the stick. Oh, it's burning so well and so fast. It's so perfect. Oh my gosh. Oh. I want to give special thanks to the Divine for all the healings that you have given to us, not just in the ceremony, but in all the healing ceremonies, in all the other treatment sessions that we've had, in meditations where we received knowledge or guidance or anything that helped us heal, in your guidance to, suddenly have us stumble across the right resources or therapists, or have guidance in our dreams so that suddenly we understand something, and all of that. Once we open ourselves up to the divine, it's amazing how blind we were before and how lost we were before opening ourselves up to that guidance. And that's something that we have to remember, how so many people who are not on the path, they keep looking to others, to maybe an older relative or to, you know, books, resources, etc. for guidance, because they can't hear their own inner voice. They're not connected to their higher self. They're cut off, they're blocked. And I mean, I'm still not fully and completely unblocked, but I'm connected enough to get enough guidance. And I think it's probably similar for many of you, that we're not 100% open, or as open as we would like to be, to have all the clairs activated fully and completely and so on, right? But what is getting and coming through is strong enough and clear enough that we're not lost, right? But we have to actually remember that when dealing with people who are lost, that they really don't have that kind of guidance. They really don't know. And I've been forgetting that too, and it just became clear how, you know, we're forgetting sometimes how lost and lonely and clueless we can be, or we could be, without that guidance, right? So we need to find it in our hearts to have compassion, patience, and understanding for those who are still lost. And it's not always easy, but I actually ask for that as well, that we will find that within us as well, that we can deal with everyone, even those who are not on our path, those who are completely in 3D and clueless, that we still find the love, compassion, understanding, and kindness to deal with them, and to just understand that that's exactly where they need to be in their soul development, and whatever their soul signed up for as a learning lesson in this lifetime, right? It's so easy to forget, because we all still live a lot our 3D lives and still think with the mind a lot. So yeah, wow. Whew. Thank you for bringing this knowledge and this wisdom. Sorry, thank you for bringing this wisdom through. I'm starting to actually feel it more already. And I hope my viewers will too. I hope you do too. Oh, wow. I feel like, especially the last few days, there have been some very strong ceremonies. I hope that they have helped you as well. And I believe that we can conclude it now. We've already brought in the love and light from the divine. So thank you for bringing in all the additional stuff, the additional wisdom and guidance and teachings. Wow. Okay. So if you need a little extra time to kind of fully come back to your senses after this video, then I recommend that you pause it after, or pause it like as I'm finishing the goodbyes at the end. And of course, I don't usually mention that, but usually especially when it's a strong energetic healing, it's recommended that you drink lots of liquids and that you listen to your body. So if you feel you need to rest, then please get some rest somehow, if you can work it into your day. Or if you feel energized and you want to exercise, then, don't stop yourself, but go for it, and so on, right? I mean, just common sense. All right. So thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I'm happy that you're also working on your own healing. I'm sending you lots of love and light as well. Many blessings. Be well until next time. And if you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share. And until next time, bye.